Do you love drama as much as I do? Plot shifts and heart-pounding turns will keep you enthralled in the new book, Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Dana and Marshall are drawn to each other, but their flame has a tendency to burn and splinter all that once mattered, quite possibly even each other. Will they make it through the debris or become part of the ruins? Find out when you purchase your copy of Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash, now available via Amazon Books and all Kindle devices. And it's free with Kindle Unlimited.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Well, actually, I live in Delaware now, so does that make me a Delawarean?
Keep singing, girl.
You know, Beyonce is my friend in my head. Jay my people sometimes, too.
Yeah. I mean, like, be true, man.
You know, when I was a kid, I had an imaginary enemy. Like, does that make me crazy?
Life as P, presented by Say What Radio.
Hey guys, welcome back to Life as P. I'm your host, Phoenix Ash. I thank you for joining me. If this is your first time, I appreciate you giving me a shot. If you're a return listener, thank you so much. I appreciate you allowing me to bounce my ideas off of you and to talk my way through some of my journey. Sometimes it's working a lot of issues out, but I really appreciate all the messages that I get in my inbox about people identifying with what I'm talking about or totally understanding what I'm getting at, or even enlightening me and giving me new information so that I may have more information to form my opinions, because you know I'm so opinionated. But like, I want to talk today about like what you hitting for, because like, and you know that maybe that's my Brooklyn slang. You know, I'm sure that somebody's like, what she mean by that? But I'm like, when I say what you hitting for, I'm like, what you getting at? Like, or what you looking for really is really what I want to ask, because, you know, I'm going to keep it all the way 100. Like, my husband got on my nerves. I told y'all before, he gets on my nerves sometimes. I mean, we fight. So like, I was upset and I was talking to someone about it, and it was like, wow, you know, based on your podcast, like you guys are in a good space. Your marriage seems strong. And I was like, wait, what? Based on my podcast? And I'm like, I mean, I feel like I talk about him like from time to time. I probably talk about my daughter more than I talk about him. But either way, it was just like, well, what am I supposed to sound like on my podcast? Like if my marriage was in shambles or my relationship was in shambles, like, am I supposed to be on my podcast like, oh my God, this is so horrible? Like, I feel like whether my marriage is good or bad, like, you're going to get the same stuff on my podcast for the most part, right? Unless it's something that's, like, definitely changing my life, like having another baby or getting a divorce, like a huge, you know, monumental moment or whatever. Neither of which is happening in the moment. But, so, like, I get the whole thing, like, where people are like, don't compare 100% of your life to what you see on social media. That's only 10%. You know, people aren't posting their failures. And I get that. I so get that. Do not compare all the effort you're putting in, all the progress you're making, all the tiny steps, big steps, medium steps that you're putting in, and compare it to someone who has seemingly arrived, right? Because, like, I say seemingly because we all know that it can look like something that it's totally not. However, at the same time, I really get irritated when people are, like, saying it in a way like they're fishing for you to be negative, like, oh, y'all out here pretending y'all got healthy relationships when really your man is in my DM. First of all, I'm like, what's your point? Tell the dude to get out your DM. okay? If you want to have a conversation with someone, but I'm like, why should they be on social media saying, yo, my man is at everybody DM? Like, should they be sulking about that? Should they be like, or should they be quiet and let me not post my relationship? Let me not post how in love with this person I am just in case they're in someone else's DM? I don't know. Like, what you hitting for? What you getting at with that? Like, should they be anything other than, hey, this is a great moment, I want to share it? And I get, like, if I get on my timeline somebody who was like rambling on about depressing stuff, I'm like, okay, first of all, if it's too long, I'm not going to read it. It has to be totally interesting in your first, like, half a sentence for me to keep going. If you are like, my heart is still broken, I might read past that because I'm like, oh, what broke your heart? But if it's like this, people ain't crap, nobody's there for you, family don't stand in your like, I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I can't be reading all of that. Like, that's depressing. And I'm like, or the people who are like, I'm about to say F everybody, I'm going to get off Facebook, or I'm going to start cutting people off. Like, B, if it's that shit, just go ahead and cut them. Like, don't worry about, like, you don't have to announce it. At least not for my state, you don't have to announce it. But I'm just like, I don't know. People are so... And I'm doing it right now, right? Like, I'm judging how you should post, what you should do, what you should say. But it just always, like, bothers me. I'm always thinking in the back of my head, like, are you mad that someone's posting these great moments? Are you mad that they're posting their happiness? Like, why are you looking? I mean, you want balance from their posts? Like, it's hard enough to achieve balance in your life. Better yet, balance in your posts is just like, yo, the post is, if that's really the 10%, it's like, well then, hey, more power to you, because balance in life is difficult. And I know if I'm going through a terrible time, first of all, I'm not one to share it with the entire world. But second of all, Facebook be giving memories, yo. I'm not trying to post that stuff to be reminded of a year later, 5 years later. You was miserable on this day. Nah, yo. So I don't know what y'all looking for with that. I don't know what you fishing for, what kind of balance you need, or what kind of misery you're interested in people sharing. But if people are posting relationships that you feel are untrue, so what? So what? Who got to be true to you on social media? Honestly, like, they got to be true for you? Oh, I know different. They smiling, but I know different. Okay. I mean, is there some type of reward? Is there, like, monetary system set up for people who know different? Is there some sort of career success level for people who know different? Is there, like, more groceries in your fridge because you know different? Like, I don't know. If people want to pretend that they're happy, let them pretend. Like, gosh, why you gotta take that from them? Like, think about the parts of your life that you're like, I wish I could just pretend it away. If somebody's successful at pretending it away, more power to them. Maybe post some tips, y'all, on how to pretend it away, like, so the rest of us can, clue ourselves in, because it's hard to achieve that kind of balance, and particularly when people are fishing for you to share your misery, like, oh, I know you're not really that happy. Okay, but dang. What's the deal? Or, oh, I know this person is always talking about money or whatever, but I know for real they broke. Hey. Nobody want to be running around talking about they broke. I don't think so. Like, very few people want the world to know that I do not have anybody. So I don't think you're going to find that either. But I'm like, even, like, remember, like, it's been 50,000 years ago. But, like, when Beyonce dropped Lemonade, And people are like, oh my God, like she confronted in my opinion, the elephant in the room, right? Like Jay had extramarital affairs. And affairs, I don't know, whatever. He cheated. Cheat once, cheat 1,000 times. It's kind of like, I don't know. I've been cheated on, so it kind of feels the same. So, but like, people had like all this talk. It's like, why she stayed with him, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, was y'all just angry? Like, because it's been rumored that it was happening for a long time. So I don't necessarily know if she didn't confront it before, or, you know, I feel like as a woman and as a musician that by the time she dropped Lemonade is because she had reached a particular stage in her healing, which one was allowing her to make it public and confront it, but two is probably also a portion of her healing. She was like healing herself. Like, you might have related, and it definitely told the story of a lot of Black women. However, I think she was doing it for her own healing. And because we've all gone through it, or so many of us have gone through it, and so many of us need to be healed or have healed or are still in the process of healing, we are able to connect to some of those details and be like, yeah, that I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel your pain. But the whole release of it, it was like, you know, there are some people who would be like, oh, well, she was pretending to be happy all the time. It's just like, first of all, when you going through a rough time, like, it's really sad if you're like not happy all the time. Like, when you go through stuff like getting cheated on, or you're going through problems with your relationship, or even in your friendships, like, it's very rare every single moment, every second of the day, you are unhappy. Unhappiness might be like your overarching thing, like, because, you know, you constantly think back. However, it doesn't mean you don't have moments of happiness. Just like when you're a happy person, it doesn't mean you don't have moments of sadness. And it's like, I just want people to stop acting like you can't be more than one thing, or you can't feel more than one thing. That one emotion has to define who you are forever and eternity, or like whatever period of life you're going through, you have to either be unhappy or happy. You can't just be like, they're happy, they might got some stuff going on in their life, but they're happy. But you're judging it based upon what you think would make you unhappy. So like, oh, they have a messed up relationship, but they online smiling and laughing. You know what? Maybe they had a good moment. And maybe that's why that person wanted to capture it. Like, yo, this is a good moment. Let's put this on Facebook. I want to share this. I want to remember this. This is what I want the world to see. Sometimes I feel like we need to be a little more choosy in what we want the world to see. I don't necessarily want to wear my pain on my nose, like just walk around with a big old sign, I'm in pain, on my forehead, or, you know, smack in the middle of my face. I don't want to do that. And I sometimes feel like I hide my pain in the pages of things I write. But I have a couple of people I confide in or whatever, but like my closest friends are the friends who I can communicate my pain to. They can communicate their pain to me, and tomorrow, if we're in a good mood, we're good. They don't hold me hostage to the pain that I was talking about yesterday. They don't hold me hostage to the tears that I cried 3 days ago. They don't hold me hostage to the declaration of what I want to do that's so monumental and change because I can't take this anymore. And then today I'm like, it doesn't feel that big. They don't hold me hostage to that. And I don't know why we get online and we look at people's posts and we try to hold them hostage to something that we think we know about them. You think you know they're unhappy, or you think that this person doesn't know this thing about this other person, and maybe they do and maybe they don't. But like, why do you feel that everything else that they're showing is just for show? I mean, because we're all on there for some type of show. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on there. You wouldn't be posting. And you're looking for the show, right? You're scrolling, you're lurking, whether you're liking stuff or not. So it's kind of dumb. Like, listen, take the show you get. And if you want to present a different show, you present your own damn show. But, like, stop policing other people's posts in terms of, like, oh, well, you don't look happy, but I think I know something else about you. So, like, or you're oblivious to this other thing going on. So, like, there's that. Like, why does that make you feel like you know something, or like I don't know, like you have this attitude like this person is not bright, or look how they playing themselves. Like, if you don't know that your spouse, and I'm going to say spouse or partner because, you know, it's not necessarily a heterosexual relationship, right? So if you don't know your spouse or partner is swimming around in people's DMs, why wouldn't you post pictures of you guys being happy? So, I mean, like, come on, it's dumb. It's kind of, like I said before, it's kind of like, what, don't post just in case? Who? Dog, for real, be happy enough in your own life that you're not fishing for somebody to have some type of fake balance, because it's still going to be fake, right? Even if they did it for your sake, it'd be fake. That's not what they want to do. So, like, stop fishing for some type of wild balance on social media. Stop feeling like you some authority because you think you know something about somebody's life that they're not posting. They don't want to post it. Okay. Like, let that be. Worry about what you putting up there or what you not putting up there. If you feel like you putting up a certain percentage of, like, and then the people who post on there, like, you know, they hate everybody. Like, you want to see that all the time? I don't want to see that either. But, like, I don't feel like you hate everybody, but I really know you're happy. No, we only do that when people are happy. You don't do that when people are sad. Oh, she's sad and crying today, but yesterday she was happy. We don't do that. We don't do that, but we do it to people's happiness. It's like we expect a glimmer of misery to show up somewhere somehow. And if it's not, we start fishing for the background story and what's happening at home and where the flaw is in your life. And honestly, I think it just comes from knowing your own flaws just way too damn much. And I'm like, if you are more self-reflective and think about the things that you'd like to change, or you pursue a life that will be a life of happiness for you, you're less concerned about whether someone appears happy but they're really not. You're less concerned about that. The only time I feel like you really need to be concerned is if you're going to call and check on them. If you're going to be like, hey, I just want to make sure you're good. Hey, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And then, like, not to just get the story and go gossip about it later, but to honestly give them a shoulder to cry on, to honestly give them a listening ear to vent, and then not hold them hostage to it. Other than that, let them be whatever they want to be on social media. Whatever. You want to be happy, that's great. You want to do cartwheels in the grass, it's wonderful. You want to show, I hate feet pics, but, you know, if you want to show your feet in the water, then hey, enjoy the water, like, whatever. But, like, ask yourself, like, what you hitting for? What are you getting at? When you say things like that, like, what are you getting at? Even sometimes I look at stuff and I'm like, and I go, hey, you mad? What you mad about, girl? I'd be like, oh, let me get that back. Because that don't say nothing about them. That say something about me, what I'm looking to see. Why am I looking to see that? So that was, like, heavy on my mind because I've been hearing it and seeing a lot of memes and seeing a lot of posts. And people are like, yeah, girl. And I'm just like, what you looking for? For real. Like, what's right? None of us know what's right to post. No one has the right formula. Like, just chill. It's too many rules, yo. Too many rules to, like, how to be on social media. Like, it's too much. Anyhow, I thank you guys for joining me. Let me rant on about what was bothering me for today. That's today's show. What's bothering me today? But I thank you. I thank you to everyone who's purchased In Her Makeup. I'm starting to get some reviews. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for supporting my work. In Her Makeup is my first novel. It's available on Amazon as well as all Kindle devices. My new book, Soiled Sheets, is also available on Amazon and all Kindle devices. I'm very excited about that. Let me tell you, I got more for you. It's coming. But y'all gotta buy what's there. Give me some reviews so I know that you feeling it, because like